Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
I had to put on my reaching hat. Hear me out. Hi, thank you for clicking. Okay, so if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I love you guys. And if you're new here, hello. Yes, I wear tinfoil hats and I talk about true crime and conspiracy. If that interests you, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. Okay, the news is that the probable cause affidavit has been released against Chad Daybell. So I was reading it and I got like halfway through and it was so many revelations. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on camera right now and just read it with you guys. What we can gather from this is that Alex Cox did the killing and Chad Daybell disposed of the bodies. What role Lori played in all of this is yet unclear, but it seems like Chad gave the direction to her and she gave the direction to Alex, and Alex did the deed. And then when everyone around them was dead, Alex had to go. If you want to read the whole thing, I'm going to have it linked down below, the whole document, but I'm going to read the parts that I find that are the most important to share. Okay, Lori Vallow moved to Rexburg on or about September 1st with her children and her brother, and that she resided in the same complex with Alex, but before that she actually was in the same unit with Alex. Remember in the previous video I made where I talk about this knockdown drag out fight that had happened between Alex and Lori, and how people said it was more like a husband and wife thing, and that now finding out they were living in the same unit, really weird. They go over the basics that we know about how Melanie said Lori started saying that JJ was a zombie, and what that means is that a dark spirit has taken over their body, and the only way to release that body from this possession is by killing them, essentially. This I found really interesting. Number 9, Melanie Gibb has further informed me that Lori Vallow called Tylee a zombie in the spring of 2019. Gibb was on the phone with Lori and heard Lori call Tylee a zombie, to which Tylee responded, quote, "Not me, mom," end quote. This arose out of Lori requiring Tylee to babysit JJ, and Tylee did not want to. Lori Vallow also told Gibb that Tylee had turned into a zombie when she was 12 or 13, which was approximately the same time Tylee had become difficult to deal with. Then it goes into Alex Cox and his GPS, and we find out just how involved Alex Cox was in everything. Like we always knew, right? Alex Cox was such a big part of all of this, which is why I still don't believe he died of natural causes. But anyway, I need to calm down. The first time they talk about his GPS tracking is regarding Yellowstone and Tylee. So they say that, as mentioned, the last verifiable sighting of Tylee Ryan was in Yellowstone National Park on September 8, 2019. Photographs established that she was there with her mother, Lori Vallow, her brother, JJ Vallow, and her uncle, Alex Cox. They drove there in Alex Silver Ford F-150. This trip was further established by tracking the GPS, cell tower connections, and Google account information on Alex Cox's phone. And then they talk about the technology and how that works. CAST is the technology that they use. On Monday, September 9th, from 12 a.m. and 12:44, Cox's phone was located at his apartment. However, at 2:42 a.m. and 3:37 a.m., Cox is located again at Lori's apartment 175, where she lived with Tylee and JJ. This is significant, not only because he is there in the middle of the night, but also because this is the only time in September he appears to go over to Lori's between midnight and 6 a.m. At 4:37, Alex Cox went back to his own apartment, unit 107, till 8:59. At 9:21, he was located at a property with the address 202 North 1900 East Rexburg, which is the residence of Chad Daybell. The 921 reading is a GPS data point and places him behind the home on Daybell's property near the east end of the barn. Alex Cox's phone was still at the Daybell residence at 10:39. At 10:47, his phone shows a hit at the city of St. Anthony. We're unable to tell if he's actually inside the city limits or still at the Daybell home because this tower is like really close to the home. Anyway, at 10:57 to 11:39, Cox is located at the Daybell property. At 11:52 to 12:02, he was at Del Taco in Rexburg. He appears to spend the rest of the day in his apartment. This next thing is crazy. It's what they found on Tammy's phone when she was texting Chad. This text conversation reads as follows. Chad to Tammy at 11:53 a.m. Well, I've had an interesting morning. I felt I should burn all of the limb debris by the fire pit before it got too soaked by the coming storms. While I did so, I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried and got my gun, and he was still walking along. I got close enough that one shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery. Fun times! Chad to Tammy at 11:56. Gonna shower now and then go right for a while at BYU. Love you. He's going to stay with Lori. C. Tammy to Chad at 2:47 p.m. Good for you. Chad to Tammy at 2:48 p.m. I'm back home now. So this is how the detectives analyzed those text messages. I found the text suspicious because raccoons are normally nocturnal animals and are not regularly out during the day. It should be noted that from interviewing neighbors of Chad Daybell, we are aware that in mid-July of 2019, Garth Daybell, Chad's son, told their neighbors that Chad had shot a raccoon out of a tree on their property during that day. Those neighbors are named Matt and Reagan Price. Garth told Matt Price about the raccoon in response to a question from Matt about hearing a gunshot. The Prices informed me that the fire pit in the back of the Daybell property was hardly ever used until the last few months. Reagan informed me that there appeared to be frequent bonfires in the pit on the Daybell property over the last few months, and the first one she noticed was soon after Tammy's death on October 19th. On June 2nd, 2020, that could be some evidence related to what he used to kill Tammy that he burned. Just a theory. The above facts established that Alex Cox appeared to be at the Daybell property on September 9th, 2019 until at least 11:39. Chad sent the text to Tammy about burning debris and shooting and burying the raccoon in the pet cemetery only 14 minutes later at 11:53. The pet cemetery referenced by Chad Daybell is located at the same location as most of the pings on Alex Cox's phone on September 9th, 2019. Soon after she arrived, Lori Vallow informed Gibb that JJ had become a zombie and pointed out behaviors such as sitting still and watching TV, claiming JJ said he loved Satan, and an increased vocabulary as evidence that JJ was now a zombie. Gibb observed JJ's behavior and felt it to be the same as she had always observed it. The last time Gibb and Warwick verifiably saw JJ was the night of September 22nd, 2019. Warwick informed us that it was late and that Gibb, Vallow, and Warwick were going to do a podcast. Warwick said that JJ was acting up, and so Alex Cox took JJ to his apartment in the complex. When Alex Cox returned later that night, he was carrying JJ, who appeared to be asleep, with his head on Alex's shoulder. Warwick specifically remembered this because he saw it as a tender moment, which, could that be that JJ was already dead and poisoned with the same thing that killed Tammy, and when he was holding him like that, he was unconscious? Warwick further informed us that when he woke up the morning of September 23rd, 2019, he asked Lori where JJ was. This was between 8 and 9 a.m. Lori informed Warwick and Gibb that JJ had been acting like a zombie and had been crawling on the kitchen cabinetry and had gotten on top of the cabinetry in the space between the cabinetry and the ceiling. She informed Warwick and Gibb that when JJ had climbed upon the cabinetry that he had knocked a picture of Jesus off the refrigerator. Vallow then informed Warwick and Gibb that Alex had come and taken JJ. The FBI CAS team, this is the phone tracking, analyzed Alex Cox's movements the morning of September 23rd, 2019 by his cell phone GPS. At 9:55, Alex is again on Chad Daybell's property. He was there until 10:12. The pings on his phone locate Alex near the pond on Chad's property at the northern edge of his property. On June 3rd, 2020, I asked Special Agent Ricky Wright of the FBI to analyze the frequency of Alex Cox's visits to Chad Daybell's property the month of September 2019. His response was, "Per your request, I checked the visits by Alex to Chad's house again. There were only 4 visits by Alex during the month of September. These were on September 6th, 12:41 to 12:53, September 9th, September 23rd, and September 25th. So basically, he only went to Chad's house right after the kids went missing. He is the one who took the bodies there and helped Chad bury the bodies, basically. And he's probably the ones who killed them. And Chad is not the one who killed them, but Chad helped dispose of the bodies and gave the instruction that the kids were zombies and needed to die. And Lori, whatever. I don't even know. The next stuff is going to be pretty graphic, and I'm going to skip to the parts where they talk about once they did the digging and what exactly they found and how they found it. Let's start at paragraph 33. Upon exposing the round object covered in black plastic, a strong odor was noticed. An incision was made into the white layer of plastic, exposing what appeared to be human remains, the crown of a head covered in light brown hair. The remaining dirt around this object was methodically removed, exposing what appeared to be a body wrapped in black plastic. The plastic appeared to be tightly wrapped around the body and secured with gray duct tape. The second site of interest was located behind a red, unattached outbuilding located roughly in the center of the property near a fire pit. Next to the fire pit is an area used as a pet cemetery. This site correlated to several GPS pings of Alex Cox's phone on September 9th, 2019. So this is going to be Tylee. Methodically, the dirt in this area was searched. Several other items of interest were found, including other bones, charred tissue, and charred bones. Cheryl Anderson indicated that these additional bones, both charred and uncharred, and tissue found were human remains. Investigators provided photos of some of the partial remains that were found at the pet cemetery to Sarah Getz, PhD, a forensic anthropologist. Dr. Getz was able to identify those remains as being non-adult human remains. While officers were conducting their search, Chad Daybell was observed by the officers to be continuously watching where the officers were searching. He was observed watching the officers while sitting in his vehicle in his front driveway and while sitting in his vehicle across the street at his daughter's residence. Around the time the head mentioned in paragraph 32 and 33 was discovered, Chad Daybell was observed leaving his daughter's residence in a gray SUV. I and other officers pursued him in police vehicles, conducted a traffic stop, and detained him due to the fact that human remains were discovered on his property. One thing that I think is whatever it was that killed Tammy might have been the same thing used to kill JJ. I don't know about Tylee, if they did something in Yellowstone and hid her in the car in the truck, because if she was left in Yellowstone, there would be really nothing to dispose of. As we see, there was something to dispose of in September 9, at around September 9th. So Tylee's body could have been hidden in that truck when they might have given her something or did something to her, pushed her, whatever. Who knows? Again, the more answers we get, the more questions we have. So that's all I have for you now. I just wanted to get this out as soon as possible. I don't even know what to say. I feel like uncomfortable saying anything, like, you know, just stay safe and see you in the next one. Bye, guys.